Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am actually very under the weather. I've been a little sick this week and I didn't have the energy or time to compose a new video. So what you're going to watch is actually a video that I recorded back in April, but I never posted it for various reasons. I was having trouble with my phone and my storage, and I couldn't save the video, I couldn't upload it, it got deleted, and I thought I lost it, but it turns out that it stayed saved in my Google Photos drive. So I was able to make more room on my phone, download it from Google Photos, and that's what I'm gonna be sharing with you guys today. Because as you can see, I'm in no condition to be filming a new video. So I'm just filming this short little intro portion so that you guys are able to watch something. So I don't look my best today, I don't have any makeup on, just hanging around at home. And in this video, I don't have any makeup on either. I don't know what it was that I just woke up in the morning when I made this video and decided to just record. And I was a little sunburned because I don't remember where I went that weekend, but I had spent some time in the sun just the day prior. So I looked a little toasty. But this video is a little bit different from what I usually make. It's not to say that all the videos going forward are gonna be like this. This one's just a little different. So I really hope you like it. I hope it's interesting for you, and stay tuned. And there will be future videos coming up every Wednesday and Saturday, like I normally post, talking about my beautiful perfume collection and my experiences with them. And everything should resume back to normal. But for now, yeah, some things are gonna be a little bit different this time around just because of the circumstances. So I really hope you guys understand and that you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and continue to watch for today's video. Good morning guys, welcome back to my channel. And on this lovely Sunday morning, I just woke up and I'm going to go brew myself a cup of coffee. And the first thing I did was spray on some of my favorite coffee scented perfumes. And immediately I had a thought that I wanted to share. So I know you guys love to see my perfume videos, reviewing them, because this channel is about joy, right? Trying to find some joy in life. And I tell you guys, and you guys usually respond to me in the comments about how buying perfumes and having a perfume collection brings us joy. And while that is true, it can also come with a very bitter side of guilt. And if you're anything like me, you know what I'm talking about. You want to enjoy life, but at the same time, you don't want to be irresponsible. So for a brief, short video today, I'll probably post an extra video this week so you guys have your little dose of joy for the week. But I do need to address something that some reviewers talk about, but some reviewers don't, because this is a rather personal matter and it really shouldn't have anything to do with perfume. But in reality, we know that all online social media influencing has a big effect on consumerism. So with that said, I just want to share with you guys my 2 cents, how I managed to stay guilt-free while I'm on this perfume journey. So first of all, before all of this started, I've always had to be very financially conscious of my spending and everything. Not to say that I'm perfect, not to say that I haven't made some bad investments, not to say that I haven't blown money on things that were kind of silly and insignificant and frivolous. But for the most part, I'm a woman that owns her home. I have a mortgage. I don't own it free and clear, but I bought my home on my own. I didn't have a divorce where I kept my home that I had with my husband and then refinanced it. And if that's your situation, there's nothing wrong with that. But the point is that I've had to make my own life mostly by myself. Have I had some help from loved ones? Yes, I have. I have a mother, I have a father, but they didn't buy my house for me. Did they help and contribute in small ways? Yes, of course they did. So it's not easy to do all of that by yourself, but still, I've always had to keep a budget. I use a Google spreadsheet. It's kind of like an Excel spreadsheet, and I make sure that I document in there every single month what my income is, what's expected, and what I actually get in the first paycheck and the second paycheck, if there's an extra third paycheck because it's a long month, and then my expenses, whether it's rent, mortgage, your car, insurance, cell phone, gas, everything. And if everything is the things that are variable, like how much gas you spend, how much groceries you pay for, I'll put an estimate. And I usually like to overestimate, and then, I put what I actually spend. And that gives me an idea of what my disposable income is. This is extra money left at the end of the month. Granted, you shouldn't have a disposable income that you think you can spend entirely if you're not putting something away for your future, for retirement. That should be part of your expenses. So are you putting a small percent, 3-4% of your paycheck away for investing for the future? Are you putting some into a savings account? All that should be accounted for. So with that said, what's left, there are people who don't do anything and have a ton of money that accumulates, and they just have a bunch of savings because they're homebodies and they're introverts and they have no life. And I tend to be one of those people. But I also have a, sort of retail therapy issue that I try to be careful with, because I don't think that I've ever been one to buy excessive or a lot of things or very expensive things. I just get into a mood and then I just go online and I find something that I want and I'll spend the disposable income on that. And what I try to do is be conscious of, am I spending more than I have? Because I don't want to go over and then now I have a credit card debt and I have to pay it off, but I need to wait for next month's income in order to pay it off. So I try to be very mindful of those things now. I've had debt before and I've paid it all off before, and I've had it again and I've paid it all off again. So last year in 2024, I was pretty much on a no buy year, like minimal to no buy. This is why I was camping a lot. Camping is very cheap. It's not always free, but to pay to use a campsite for a couple of days is not very expensive. To have a tent, not very expensive. But I did have to buy my things that I used for it. But then again, in that whole year, I managed to get completely out of consumer debt while I was doing those activities and not feeling like I was depriving myself of any kind of joy. Because, most of us have issues with some depression, some anxiety, and completely depriving yourself of all joy. And then you start comparing your life with others. It can start to really weigh you down. When you wake up every morning bright and early, you don't feel like you've slept enough. You're stuck in the car in traffic with people cutting you off and being mean, and you're dealing with patients all day, every day, to then come home and, you don't go out on dates, you're not taken out on dates, you don't go on vacations, you don't buy anything, you don't shop, you don't have really anything that brings you joy. So I think it's okay to use the money that you worked hard for, but you have to understand what it is to be doing yourself a disservice when you are overdoing it and you're actually doing harm to yourself. So it's that delicate balance, right, between doing something that's going to make you happy, but also doing something that might potentially be jeopardizing your situation and your circumstances and your future. So it's that balance between, live for today, but also plan and prepare for tomorrow. And that's what I try to always do. With that said, I've amassed a pretty big collection in a very short amount of time. I'm going to be honest with you, I have over 100 perfumes. I think it's like 130. And I did spend all my disposable income for the last 3 months, and I've decided to stop. I've decided to no longer, I did these things in the beginning. I'm not going to buy a perfume that just was released and is being hyped up just because it's hyped up. The good thing about buying so many perfumes so quickly is that I've been able to smell and sample and get my nose trained onto what I like and what I don't like. And I'm currently in the process of decluttering the ones that I don't like. Those are the ones that are on my Mercari that I'm trying to sell. And I've already sold about 5 or 6 of them. So when we declutter and we try to resell or gifting, obviously, we're going to take a loss. So if you bought a perfume for $30 and you're selling it for $20, you just lost $10. So that $10 was spent so that you can have the joy and the experience of unwrapping and opening a new perfume and smelling it and trying it, to then later figure out that you don't like it. So I'm trying to avoid this as much as possible. So by doing so, I don't want to buy recently released hyped up perfumes. Even if someone recommends it to me, like some of you guys have told me, look, I just got this one, it's really great. I appreciate it. Thank you. I will definitely take it into account. I'll look at it up on Fragrantica. I'll see if I can stop at a store in the mall and see if I can smell it. But I'm trying to now limit myself to maybe 1 or 2 per month if I continue to buy more. And I'm trying to limit it to the ones that I know I will love. Because I know that's not going to break the bank if I get 1 or 2 per month. That's a very small percentage of my disposable income. But you have to consider your circumstances. Are your basic essentials being met? Is your rent being paid? Is your mortgage being paid? Are utilities being paid? I'm a person that I don't really go out. I don't have a ton of friends. I was married for 15 years. I had 2 children, and my life was my husband and my children. Like a lot of us are guilty of this. I was not a very popular kid growing up or all through high school. I had a very small circle of friends. I had maybe 2 or 3 friends. And sometimes you grow apart and you grow distant and everybody goes on with their life, especially when you get married and have kids. And that kind of happened. And then my husband was a very popular person and he had a lot of friends. So a lot of his friends became my friends. But then what happens in a divorce is that they end up staying with the friend that was their friend in the first place. So then you find yourself a single mom, working hard, and you don't have a lot of friends. Dating is very difficult. I don't have interest in doing that, at least not for the time being. I've done it and it's just one disappointment after the other, and I just don't want to continue to put myself through that right now. And so I don't smoke, I don't drink heavily. Do I every once in a while buy maybe a bottle of wine or a 6-pack of beer and, every once in a while have one with dinner? Yes, but not all the time. So it's not like I have a habit or a hobby of bar hopping or going to the bar and getting a drink every single day after work. No. So don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do? Kind of like that boring girl in the song. What's her name? I forget the name. Anyway, don't go out, don't drink, don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't have hobbies or habits that cost me a lot of money. So for me, this is how I feel guilt-free to justify when I buy myself a couple perfumes in a month and I know that I'm not going over my disposable income. I don't buy what's hyped up, I buy what I think I'm gonna love. I already know the notes that I love and the notes that I don't. And that doesn't always mean, like, obviously some perfumes have a bunch of notes that you didn't think you would love and you love the perfume, and some of them have a bunch that you thought you would love and you hate the perfume. So, but the point is, I'm trying to, going forward, not just amass and collect everything. I also am going to be far more cautious with buying Middle Eastern perfumes for that reason as well. Some of them are very hyped up and I don't feel like they're that great. Some of them are great. But I want to keep the Middle Easterns that I have that I think are great. I don't want to just buy Middle Eastern perfumes because they're cheap and they might smell kind of nice. Because I've had many that smell kind of like a body splash or just very like one-dimensional or kind of juvenile. And some of them smell like beautiful, gorgeous, like luxury, expensive perfumes. Because there are some nicer perfumes that are designer or niche that are not expensive, that are not in the $200 range. Like there are niche perfumes that are, let me see if I can think of one. If I'm gonna make that in another video, the perfumes that I have that I'm like, hey, maybe it's a 1.7 ounce and not a 3.4, so it's less, and maybe it's like $60, $70, but it's not over $100. Yes, you could probably get a Middle Eastern one that's like 3.4, 100 mil for like $40. That's obviously a great deal, but like, are you happy with the quality of what you're getting, of the juice, of the notes, of the scent profile? Like, is it what you want? Because if something that's maybe less mLs and a little bit pricier, but it's not going to be above $100, might have a beautiful scent profile that I absolutely adore, I might feel happier going for something like that. So it's not always about, getting your bang for your buck and your money's worth. It's also about getting what really, truly brings you joy. You can have a ton of perfumes that you do not love and it's not bringing you joy. They're just sitting there collecting dust. So I don't recommend to just like fall for the hype. And what reviewers say, and they're constantly, that's what they do, they're going to constantly be reviewing perfumes. What I'm doing is sharing with you guys what I have collected, what I love, what I have found, and how I interpret the ones that maybe I don't love, and how they compare and contrast, and the ones that are going to be similar, so you don't feel like you're being redundant, wasting money on several perfumes that smell the same. Different ideas that I have, there's so many that I can put into rotation and create different ideas of different videos and different things that I want to talk about. These are all things that I think about, and I'm like, well, instead of keeping it to yourself, just thinking it, talk about it, share it, and that's how this channel came to be what it is. But I am very red because I went to the beach yesterday with a friend and I got a little bit sunburned, but it's not a big sunburn. It's kind of like a sun kiss. By tomorrow I should be just a little bit rosy, and the next day I should be pretty much back to normal. But I'm very fair skinned, so my skin, gets red super easily. But yeah, no makeup this morning. Just woke up. I just made my bed. I still have to fold up, that's a blanket that I like to use on the couch at night before I go to bed. I have laundry to do. I got to clean the floors. I have a lot to do today. So, life is lifing. It's not all about perfumes, but, on the channel, that's what I like to talk about. That's what you guys like to watch about. And so that's what's going to continue to happen. I just wanted to pop on here because I woke up in the morning and I had these thoughts. And I don't want you guys to feel guilt. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to hide your packages from your spouse. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh my gosh, I just ordered 3 more. I have 4 more in my cart because of you. That kind of like doesn't sit well in my stomach. I don't want you guys to order something and then hate it or not love it because I loved it. I try to describe the scent as best as possible. It might not be something that you would love. Or maybe it would be, I don't know. But you have to kind of get your nose on certain things to see if you love it or not. Like oud, for example. Someone mentioned in a comment that Shagaf oud actually has no oud. I mean, I don't know for sure if Fragrantica is accurate, but on Fragrantica, it does say that it has oud. And it has quite a lot of it. And when I first received my first oud perfume, I thought, wow, this is a really nice smell. It smells good. And it does smell good. It's like when you smell, you know, fresh brand new leather shoes, or like a fresh wood furniture that you open and you smell the cabinets, or, you know, that those smells. Or when you smell, some people like the smell of gasoline, and it's just, it's a good smell. You feel pleasure when you smell it, but maybe you don't want to smell that way. Or it's such a good smell, but it's a very strong, potent smell that you don't want to smell it all day. You just enjoyed smelling it for that short amount of time, and then you wear it and you find yourself sick of it after a few hours. So that's what I mean. Eventually you start learning what you love and what you don't love. So a lot of my oud heavy perfumes I'm planning to sell, and it's not that I dislike oud. I don't dislike it. I like it, but I don't feel like I'm going to reach for it and wear it a lot. So I'll probably make a video. I've had this idea in mind for a long time, but I do have to write them down so I don't forget. I don't want to just be spontaneous. A lot of my videos are spontaneous. Nothing is scripted. I just have ideas. I get on here and I talk, and then I look back on it and I'm like, man, I wish I would have mentioned this or that I thought of before, and I just forgot to mention it. Or, you know, I started talking about other things that I didn't plan to talk about. It just kind of came out. So it's not easy to fully translate all your thoughts directly onto paper before you forget them and then you want to relay it, but doing the best that I can with that. But when it comes to like notes, I want to write them down so that I'm pretty, you know, clear. These are the ones that I've noticed are in perfumes that I adore, and these are the ones that I've noticed that are in perfumes that I don't like. And, you know, maybe that might help you out a little bit if we have similar tastes. Are you a sweet perfume person? Do you love sweets? Are you a person that gets repulsed by sweet? Maybe you like freshies. Do you like gourmands? Do you think gourmands are too literal? You don't want to smell like a baked good. You know, some people don't want to smell like baked cookies. Like, it's a beautiful scent, but they don't want to walk around smelling like baked cookies and have people say, why does it smell like baked cookies? Like, some people want to. Some people love that idea of smelling super sweet and delicious, and some people don't. Some people like more perfumey and classy, timeless, vintage sort of perfumes, but they tend to have a lot of yellow florals and aldehydes, which I've noticed, and ambers. I don't like yellow florals or ambers, I've noticed. And some people rave about those, like maybe classic older perfumes that are not too difficult to get, not too expensive. And then you get it and you're like, oh, this isn't good. And some people rave about it. Some people love Shalimar. Some people love Chanel No. 5. To me, they smell absolutely awful. So yeah, so you don't always have to run out and buy what your favorite influencer is raving about. Use your own discernment, use your own budgeting, look at what you have and what you don't have. If you find things that you feel like you don't really love, you don't really like, it's sitting in your collection, it's a pretty bottle, but you don't ever feel like you want to wear it. I have a lot, but I want to wear all of them. The ones that I'm noticing I don't really want to wear, I put up on my Mercari. So because there's so many, I have to wear one each day. I try not to repeat, even though I have favorites and I might repeat them. And those bottles are, you know, draining rather quickly. When I wake up and I go to work, I try to think of the night before. I think of the next day when I wake up, which one do I want to wear today? You know, and I'll take that one for the day. I'll put it all on and I'll reapply throughout the day, and I enjoy the scent that day. And then I put it back on the shelf, and it may not be picked up again for a while because I'm going to go on to a different one. And that's the joy of this. Like, some people have one cologne, one perfume, and they wear it every day, and that's fine. But I think the reason why I didn't wear a lot of perfume before this is because I would get bored of them. If I had 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, and maybe 2 of those 5 were really fancy for only going out, but I didn't go out that much, those bottles would last a really long time. And the ones that were fine for every day, I would wear them, and then I would just be like, I don't want to put this on today. It would be like an oversight. Like, it just wasn't something that I was like, oh well, I didn't put on perfume today. Oh well. And it would just sit there, and because I'm bored of the same thing. Imagine eating the exact same food every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of your life. That's boring, isn't it? Sometimes we get into little hyperfixations and we want to eat the same kind of breakfast every single day, that's fine, but then your lunch is different or your dinner's different. Or we eat the same lunch every day, but then your dinner's, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not always the same thing morning, noon, and night every single day for the rest of your life. So sticking to one perfume to me feels that way. So, because perfume is not a necessity. Like when you shower, you have to use body wash or soap. You have to use conditioner and shampoo. You have to like moisturize your skin if you have dry skin. You know, so if it smells the same and it's the same thing, that tends to not bother you too much because it's a necessity. You have to use it. You don't have to put on perfume. Some people, it's probably second nature and they do it like how they put on deodorant, and they don't care if it's the same scent every day. It just smells good. Let's get out the door. We smell fine. Great. Then you're a one perfume person and that works for you. But perfume to me felt like it's not something I need. I'm clean. I have deodorant. I've showered. I don't need to put it on. Whenever I would put on perfume, it was for joy. It was for, ooh, I like this. Ooh, this smells, I smell nice today. Or like, oh, we're going to go out. Ooh, let me get nice. Let me put it on. It's a luxury, not a necessity. So if I have a luxury that is the one same thing over and over, what's going to happen? You take it for granted. So for example, let's say you have a pool in your house and you got a pool and it's so expensive and now your taxes are higher and everything, but because you love pools, when you go on vacation and you go and you stay in a hotel, there's a pool and it's always so much fun. What happens when you get a pool in your house? You use it like crazy, maybe for the first month or two, and then you stop because it's there all the time. It's a luxury. You don't need it. Maybe once in a while for birthday parties, but you come home and you're tired at the end of the day and you think, oh, I'm going to get in my pool and enjoy it. But you don't. And it just sits there and it doesn't get used. Same thing with your beautiful china that you might have. You might have your regular everyday pots and pans and dishes and plates and cups and silverware, but then you have the lovely fancy china that you reserve only for holidays. Why? It's a luxury. It's for special occasions. And it's not an everyday need. So why do you need it? Just either use your beautiful china every day and enjoy the luxury, or don't have it in the first place because you don't need it. Well, because it's the one same luxury. It's the same set. It looks the same and you use it every day. If you had like 10 plates and they're all different, they all have different patterns. Let's say you don't have a big family and you live by yourself, or it's you and one other person. You're going to pick out of those 10 plates, which plate do you want to use today? Kind of like your clothing. You have a variety of clothing. What outfit do you want to wear today? If you had the same exact luxury outfit every single day, it's like wearing a uniform. It takes away the luxury of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my perspective. It's probably a little kooky, but like having one beautiful, luxurious perfume that you wear every single day, I feel like eventually becomes redundant, becomes boring, becomes something that you take for granted, and it doesn't really make a big impact on your daily life anymore. When I wake up in the morning and I have to choose what perfume do I want to wear today, if it feels like a stressor, if I feel like I'm like, I can't decide, I don't know. I don't want to add stress to my life. This is supposed to add pleasure and joy to my life. So I will just pick whatever is comfortable, even if I've already worn it recently, and repeat it. So that's what we call our signature scent, right? So, you know, I have some Love Don't Be Shy dupes that are phenomenal, and I love that scent profile, and I feel like that is my go-to signature when I don't know what I want to wear, or I wore something and I'm not feeling it and I've been wearing it all day and I'm just kind of like over that scent and it's already fading. I have a little tiny bottle of a dupe for Love Don't Be Shy in my purse. That's my signature. I'll put it on so to change the scent of the day that day, and I've repeated that scent multiple times because I love it. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to talk about. Started getting into other things at the end of this video when it was supposed to be talking about being, you know, financially responsible. But let me know in the comments what you think about that subject. You know, what are your thoughts? What are your ideas? What are your experiences? How are you able to, you know, continue to collect without feeling the guilt, without, you know, putting yourself into financial jeopardy? And because if you are in that situation, you know, I'd like to help you out. I don't feel like you should feel like you have to sell your whole collection or stop enjoying. You know, there's ways to do things responsibly. There's ways to enjoy life and find that happy balance where you're not going overboard and you're not jeopardizing yourself, but you're also not completely depriving yourself either. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. If you're here regularly and you watch my videos frequently, you know, please subscribe. I don't know if by the time this video is released, if I will already be at 1,000 followers, subscribers. But I think I am close because I'm at the time of recording this, I am pretty close. And if I'm there already, thank you very much. I'm so thankful and grateful to all of you for being here. I'm very happy that you're enjoying the videos. I'm happy to make them. I have fun making them. I have so many other ideas to come up with to, continue to talk about. And I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.